Just recording in progress.
Can you hear us okay, Angie?
Yes, yes.
Okay, perfect, there we go. Perfect. Okay, I would like to call to order the Village of Lansing Planning Board meeting for Tuesday, May 27th, 2025, to order at 7:01 PM. Look at that.
Early. Are you sure?
Sorry, I'm on time. First item on the agenda is the approval of minutes. We've got one set, that's from May 12th, 2025. I know everyone sent their updates in. I know Natalie sent some in today. Did you get those?
Natalie and Lisa are the only two I received, never reminder.
I will
Maria's
enter.
out of the country, so she wasn't, I was counting. I thought, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to weigh in this time.
I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
I move that we approve the minutes of May 12th.
I will second.
Motion by, this is gonna be pretty much on right now.
Oh, yeah.
Motion by Lisa, second by Emil, all in favor.
Aye.
There we go. Okay, next item on the agenda is the public comment period. This is an opportunity for anyone from the public to bring up anything that's not already on the agenda for this evening. Okay, hearing nothing, I will entertain a motion to close the public comment period.
Go ahead.
So moved.
Motion by Emil, second by Lisa, all in favor.
Aye.
Okay, next item on the agenda is to continue the public hearing for special permit number 2025-4851. NGN is proposing to open a daycare and after-school program in a portion of the building located at 2343 North Trip Hammer Road. Text parcel number 47.1-3-5, which is owned by Lama Brothers LLC. The proposal is a change of use with a change in applicable parking needed, which requires a special permit in the commercial medium traffic district. We've got Angie with us.
We have John Driscoll, who is the architect of
Hey,
the
John.
project. Since
Can she see me from up there?
Nope, she can't see you, but she can hear you, okay?
Andrew, John is here, just so you know.
Yes, hello, Jan. Yes, my airplane is, I have to go on 7:30 because I'm going to, go back to US today.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
Okay, since the,
Maybe I might be disconnect
Okay.
Okay.
suddenly.
That's fine.
since the last meeting, we did hear back from the county. They had nothing spectacular to say, they had no input. And since then, we were supplied the changes that I had sent over, that you had requested, and I sent it over to John, and we've got some changes here. We got another site plan, which gives you the dimensions from the fence to the actual sidewalk on North Trip Hammer Road. We have a photo of the now 6-foot-high wooden fencing area. And the last item that you had suggested was some type of possible planting of a single tree. I know you didn't ask my opinion, but.
Mike, what's your opinion?
Thanks, Mike. I'm not so sure that it's even really necessary. If you take a look at that project, there's that tree line is pretty heavy. The area that's fenced in is pretty small as it is, taking it away with a tree, depending, unless you have some other tree that's gonna be really small. There's gonna be 32 kids there. I doubt they'll all be at the same time, but a space is kind of essential for that area, so.
So I did go over today and go to the site, and because I just thought, I've been driving by it a million times, but it's very tight. I have a house that's sited similarly to this, and what I would prefer is to take this tree. There's those 3 trees along, but I don't know whether they're enough to honestly shade this, but in the late afternoon, in the summer, if there's not some shade in here, it's gonna be really hot.
The sun does hit it,
And-
as it is now.
And I would prefer actually that we get some sort of shade going here in the front, if there's room. The other thing that I noticed was, and I don't know if I have it straight, because I tried to understand the jogs, I hadn't brought the plans with me,
I
it
can
was
bring it
done.
up on the screen.
But there are some pipes coming out of the ground that look like they're venting pipes for something,
They're for sewer.
and they're big, and they're inside, it looks like they're inside where this proposed new fence line, which I don't think will be acceptable for the kids, right?
Well, we can,
Event, then.
So, I mean, it can be worked around, it's like there'll have to be a jog on the fence or something, but I just didn't realize, pardon me?
Those are right.
You can't miss them, I mean, they're like big pipes.
It's gonna be
6 inches.
inside where the fence is.
couple ways to do that. A lot of times,
Box it in.
talking with John, they could be cut flush as long as they have a metal cap to them that could be detected by a metal detector so that they could ever find it again. But they can be flush right down to the grass or have something that covers them.
Well, I was gonna say, or they just build around it, I mean, just leave it out, it sort of would be in the corner area. But I mean, that needs to be accommodated in some way
Yeah.
in our conditions. Because, but again, I feel strongly that we need some sort of shade if we can fit a tree in front. That would be my preference, honestly, because it is awfully tight. I don't know, are there any? I'm assuming if the space is not big enough that the state has some sort of parameters on this stuff. We don't really have.
You know, have.
No, we don't, but
If they
I
had,
just hope that that's okay. I have no idea.
So to your point about the tree, I agree, it's, having had children that went through, things like this, as much outdoor space as possible is great, especially in that fenced-in area, or only in that fenced-in area. Last time we were talking about the tree, really, we were talking, I think when we were talking about it, correct me if I'm wrong, really our concern was shade, and that's why we had discussed the tree.
Yeah,
So
right.
I would, there is a lot of, there are a lot of trees around there already, which is fine. Just my concern would be shade up in the front. If it's a tree, great. If it's a sunshade, things like that, they're starting to, use them. As long as it's shaded somehow in the front there, that is kind of my
And
concern.
maybe it needs to be something more permanent than a tree or more instant, because
Yeah,
it's
they
going
can
to
have
be.
those tarp coverings.
That's what I mean,
It's
yeah,
gonna be
sunshade, yeah, it's
really
almost like
hot, yeah.
a sail that's,
Yeah.
and they're colorful and
And
pretty,
maybe,
all that.
maybe a tree isn't appropriate, because it would take 30 years to give us
Yes,
shade.
that's true.
Yeah, that's the thing, yeah.
But aside from that, I'm just saying, but that would be my major concern, and then the pipes.
Yeah.
Other than that,
Can we accommodate both those on the special permit? I don't know about the shade.
The shade,
but we
especially if it's a sail.
Yeah.
But I mean, Chelsea knows our
Yeah.
concerns.
Yeah.
But those aren't permanent structures, so we really can't,
No, we really can't.
rule about those.
So I guess-
Exactly, that's, yeah,
so-
in a tree, like you said, the tree that's planted now, it's not gonna do anything.
And that,
Although in
the
30
shade
years, it'd be
issue
nice to
will
have.
become a necessity of dysfunction,
Yeah.
too.
Yeah,
The children will get hot.
That's right, I was self-solving.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
So I think, Angie, that's our concern there, we're not so worried about the tree, it sounds like, the
Yeah,
tree
I don't-
inside the fence,
Now
if
that
you
we-
wanted to keep that, great, if you wanted to remove it, great, but our concern is having some sort of structure, whether it's a, sunshade or sunsail or something like that, that provides shade to this area as the sun kind of sets, as the sun sets, it's gonna shine in this way, so having some sort of,
'Cause-
something to provide shade.
And maybe the one tree is really way far over here.
Yeah.
And then the others, maybe they provide more shade than I'm thinking, I don't
yeah, I
know.
mean, we had a Google Earth view at one point, and I think that it was in the afternoon, and it actually looked like those.
It was
the street
okay.
trees gave
It
some shade
might
to the
not be
front.
an issue, but, you know,
And what we identified, the reason we even brought up the back is because when the sun comes up back behind,
Actually
there's
comes up about
nothing
here.
giving it shade from that direction.
It actually comes up from about over here, and. the
Oh, in that
tree-
case, it'd be okay.
It is, okay. I think it really is.
Yeah, that's kind of the view right there.
Yeah, you're getting shade to that.
You're getting
front
shade.
See,
corner.
this is north here,
Yeah.
and so I think the shade actually there will be okay.
Yeah,
And
Yeah,
the
so,
fence will
so
stay a little bit.
looking at that, that looks like it's late morning, probably.
Yeah,
let's look at the McDonald's parking lot, I'll let you know what time it is. Definitely, well, yeah, I would say late morning, it's about lunch.
I'm gonna guess like 11 or
Yeah.
so.
and the side actually
Yeah.
is shaded.
So at 11 o'clock in the morning, we're getting
It's more.
lots of coverage from the side there. The back corner is still pretty bright.
It is, actually.
And
Can the tree be outside the fence in any way?
If there's, I don't know if
You're
there's
running
space there.
close.
Yeah,
it's, like, if you look out there, that tree right there would be an appropriate kind of tree, and it doesn't take up a huge amount of square footage, at all. And frankly, I think it's lovely to have a tree where kids are playing.
So maybe it's keep it there, it's on the drawing, and then still,
Yeah.
you know, see what you can do to address the shade kind of in this front area here with something.
Yeah, and what's gonna end up happening is, like, in their experience of running the daycare, they're gonna learn to identify hot spots and not. So
Yeah.
this tree, the side trees, the ones in the front, you know, they're already mature. This one in the back will mature over 10 years' time. So between now and 10 years' time, you're gonna find different spots, and you're gonna have umbrellas or whatever else to take care of stuff. So I'm not worried about that at all.
Okay.
Okay.
Did anyone want to mention anything else about this project, Angie? John? Anything?
John, have any things for us?
Okay, so we have two options. Normally, we would vote, or we would, if there were no other discussion points, we would close the
Yeah.
public hearing, and we would vote on this tonight. I know we're down a couple board members tonight. I also know that they've already provided their input, and it was really, I think, incorporated discussion already tonight. So if you are both comfortable, I am comfortable, we can move forward to this tonight, if you want to. We have the,
So I move to close the public hearing.
And I second it.
okay. That's the one. Hang on, I gotta find the right one. All in favor?
Aye.
Who motioned that?
I didn't.
Okay. Okay, and Michael did say that we got back the 239s, and there was there's nothing provided, right? Okay. We do not have to do a EAF, we do not have to do a seeker. So I will read off the general conditions. Look at my hand. So no special permit will be granted by the planning board or the board of trustees unless the requested activity meets the following requirements. If you don't think it meets the following requirements, please let me know. One, it will not be detrimental to or endanger the public health, safety, or general welfare. Two, it will not be injurious to the use and enjoyment of other property in the vicinity or neighborhood. Three, it will not impede the orderly development of the vicinity or neighborhood and is appropriate in appearance and in harmony with the existing or intended character of the vicinity or neighborhood. Four, the street system and off-street parking facilities can handle the expected traffic in a safe and efficient manner. Five, natural surface water drainage ways are not adversely affected. Six, water and sewage or waste disposal facilities are adequate. Seven, the general environmental quality of the proposal in terms of site planning, architectural design, and landscaping is compatible with the character of the neighborhood. Eight, lot area, access, parking, and loading facilities are sufficient for the proposed use. 9, the requested use or facility conforms in all other aspects to the applicable regulations of the district in which it is located. And 10, the applicant has shown that steps will be taken where necessary to meet all performance standards and all other applicable general regulations. I will entertain a motion to say these requirements have been met.
So moved.
Motion by Lisa.
Seconded?
By Yumila, all in favor? So we have the, somewhere in front of us, we have the special permit resolution written up. I will read it off. So this is a Village of Lansing special, planning board resolution for special permit number 2025-4851, adopted on May 27th, 2025. This matter involves consideration of the following proposed action. Angie Inn is proposing to open a daycare and after-school program in a portion of the building located at 2343 North Trip Hammer Road, which is owned by Lama Brothers LLC. Proposal is a change of use with a change in applicable parking needed, which requires a special permit in the commercial medium traffic district. And the planning board finds this to be a type 2 action for seeker purposes, which would require no further action. And on May 12th, 2025 and May 27th, 2025, the Village of Lansing Planning Board opened and continued a public hearing regarding this proposed action, and therein thoroughly reviewed and analyzed the materials and information presented by and on behalf of the applicant in support of this proposed action, including information and materials related to the environmental issues, if any, which the board deemed necessary or appropriate for its review. All other information and materials rightfully before the board, and all issues raised during the public hearing and or otherwise raised in the course of the board's deliberations. The public hearing was closed on May 27th, 2025. Now therefore be it resolved as follows. We have two options. We can grant and approve or deny the special permit. We do have our normal conditions on there for soil and erosion control measures. Obviously prior to the building permit being issued, working with Mike as and the engineer, if there's anything needed for stormwater. And then, obviously, all other permits that we need, federal, state, county, local governmental permits. We did want to add in E and have. Oh, A, B, C. Oh, yeah, D, sorry, well, what did I say, E? I meant D. So we wanted to add in D, and that was,
To address and accommodate the sewer vents within the fenced-in area to the satisfaction of the village DPW and code enforcement officer.
Lovely.
Okay, you send me that.
any other comments or anything from the board members? If not, I will entertain a motion to approve the special permit.
So moved. Oh, you got this one.
By Lisa?
I'll
I
second.
move that we accept, special permit number 2025-4851.
All those in favor? Aye. Thanks a lot,
Did you
Angie.
get seconded?
Yes.
Yes.
Hear you.
Thank
Have a
you,
safe- Have a safe trip back.
thank you. Hi, here you go.
John, I'll send out an email to Angie and CC you on, we're all on the same page.
Sounds good.
Appreciate your comment, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Okay, next item on the agenda is discussion of village code changes and corrections. Anything you want to bring up?
No, I mean, we didn't really, last time we spoke, you and Jim were going to get together and look over commercial, you can do high-density residential, and, you were looking
We were doing
at
business and technology
park and all that kind of stuff. We never really did come up with a plan as far as to look for the uses or anything.
Know how we were gonna divvy it up,
Yeah, we're gonna
stuff.
figure it out.
Yeah, and so we can, I mean, I obviously want everyone here when we decide that, but so, right, at the last meeting, we went over a couple of examples that Mike had provided. Some of them were pretty easy, some of them generated a little bit of discussion, some of them generated more discussion, which we decided then we should have some more discussion about. So I did get a hold of Jim, Jim did get back to me, we haven't set up a time yet. I'll mention this in my trustee report too, but in the interim, there's also been some renewed interest from Cornell, Christine Haas, at Cornell in the real
Oh,
estate,
for
or I
the-
forget what it is.
yes.
She and Carolyn had talked, and Carolyn had reached out to her and said, hey, we're thinking about reviewing this, do you want to, are you interested, do you want to have some input? And she said, absolutely, yes. So there's that kind of piece of the puzzle too, but Jim and I are still gonna get together and review some things. We will have that meeting with the folks from the Business and Technology Park, and then we'll kind of see. I thought, obviously, some of the other things, as we talk about the chart of uses and things like that, I think are, easy for us to handle. When it does come to the Business and Technology Park, when we do start to tackle that stuff, though, I think it will be a really good idea to have feedback from them about things that maybe they're interested in that we haven't thought about, or maybe things that we have thought about that we're interested in. They might say, oh gosh, no, like, at the last one, we had talked about all those kind of funny restrictions in there for some of the stuff. They might say, no, don't change them, we need them, and here's why. I don't know if that's actually the case, but it's a good example.
You never know, though,
Yep,
why
that's
they're
right.
there to begin with, there's always a
Right,
reason.
Yep.
And maybe it's gone away, but maybe it
But maybe
hasn't.
not. And I chatted with Ronnie about it for a few minutes too, just to, because he and Carolyn had actually suggested that she reach out to me, so.
So maybe I would kind of like to know how you see the process, our process here do we want to divide it up? Do we want to work in teams? Do we want to do individually?
So, yeah, so my thought was, obviously, we worked through some examples last time, and I
Right.
think people got a general feel for some of the things. Those, were a little bit easier. I think once Jim and I'll take good notes as Jim and I, go through and discuss it, and just some of the sort of things to think about as we're going through them, because it's not just, the one example, what was it, low traffic, or low.
It was the low traffic food.
Low
and
traffic
beverage
food and
was-
beverage, that's not the only one in there that has those special conditions. It happens to be in business, and, we had talked about business and technology, so I think that will lend to the process. I think, this is my opinion, and I thought about doing it individually, I thought about, everybody review everything, I thought about working on it on teams. I think if we want to make some headway on it, people really we need to divvy it. This is my
I do
opinion.
too.
1 through 5, 6 through 10, I think we really do need to divvy it up and have people look at it, and then come back for that discussion.
Okay.
I think if we try to do it in teams, it'll take too long to coordinate. I think if everybody does everything, it'll just take too long and people won't do it. I think if you can focus on, here's 5 things for you.
Do we want to just start at the top, go to the bottom, or are there some areas that we feel we should get to sooner as later?
I hadn't thought about that, I don't know. My plan was just to say, you know, hey, who wants one through whatever, this through that.
I would like to offer a suggestion about that. I think it would be helpful if we had 2 people assigned to every single one, so that we have 2 different voices, because what Lorraine picks up, I might not pick up, and vice versa, or Jim, you know.
I would better with, I would say.
And we
doesn't
can do
mean-
that,
Not
that's fine.
necessarily.
I was gonna say, we could, because I'm already thinking, oh, well, I would corner somebody, because.
That's fine, we can do that. I had brought it up before, and some other people, I don't know if it was Lorraine or Jim, or maybe it was Pat, had concerns about it just taking too long to coordinate it.
Yeah.
That was one of the things that I was thinking about anyway, was I wouldn't have, well, you can't have more than 2 anyway, so.
No,
Right,
that's right.
so 2 assigned to any particular thing,
Okay.
and then, and it can be, you know, it doesn't have to be the same 2 for all the
Yeah,
same
sure,
things.
yep.
And then those 2 can either work independently or coordinate
Yeah.
as they see
However they
fit.
want.
Exactly.
But
I
the idea of
think
having
so.
2 voices is good.
And that way, if somebody doesn't get to it, the other one maybe couldn't, because, you know, but it's up to whoever can't to hand the responsibility to somebody, otherwise we're never gonna
Yeah.
get through all this.
Yep. Okay, so let me, in between now and the next meeting, Jim and I are gonna get together, might hear back from Christine at Cornell, might have a meeting, not sure, we'll see about the time. Actually, well, I think that we will have the time to do that, because it's likely that we're gonna cancel our next meeting.
Right.
So we should have some time to make headway on that. I will also take a look at the chart of uses and maybe come up with just some way to divvy it up, and, you know, just have a couple slots for the various sections, and people can sign up for.
I mean, some of these are kind of
Because you're right, you might say, ooh, I'm really interested in
undertaking.
something, I don't know, yeah, but,
That's always
Yeah.
of interest. Yes.
the other question that I was thinking about as you were mentioning that is, does it make sense to do it by use, or does it make sense to do it by district? Does that give you a different viewpoint if you are saying, oh, I want to focus on, you know what I mean?
With you here.
Focusing on the,
Use
you
is
know, the
always-
X as
I
opposed to
think
the
it's
Y.
by
I think,
use.
Okay.
It's use because it's, what we're trying to do is be sure that use is appropriate for
Yeah.
X, Y, and Z
Yeah.
Okay,
district.
okay.
I don't, you really can't separate them, especially, can you?
I don't know, I was,
I feel like you do everything that's currently permitted in.
And CLT
health and
or
human
whatever.
services and-
Yeah.
No, I think I would
Appropriate.
prefer to
Just
get
by
the
use.
comprehensive
Okay.
thing. I think I would get through better if I went to each district and considered all the possibilities. I don't know.
that's fine. I literally
Everybody
just
is
thought about it as I
different.
looked over your chart. I was just thinking that, and I don't know if this is true or not, but some of those special conditions for various permits, I wonder, or the special conditions for some special permits, I wonder how those actually lay out in the code, if it's really more by the use, or if it's really more by the district that they're in.
Perhaps our code officer could tell us. What is it?
It's laid out more by the use.
Okay,
I think it's
okay.
too useful.
So then, yeah, we'll do it by use.
Yeah, and it might be useful as an exercise, like, once we've gone through all the uses, is say, okay, in this district, this is what we have. And do those things make the mosaic that
Yeah.
is what we want that district to be, look like?
Did I miss it, or did you talk to Ronnie about how we want to present this to everybody?
I haven't gotten there yet, but yes, so I did talk to him about that, and his thought was that it would be better to have a full
of it
list
done.
of here, you know, here's the proposed changes, not, hey, we tackled low income, or low, you know, low traffic
1 through
food.
6.
Go, yeah, so, just to have everything in a comprehensive package, you know, notes and annotations about, you know, the discussion, anything you think is important, get that to the trustees and let them have time to, you know, think about it and kind of parse through it, and then we will, you know, we'll send a couple people to go and present those changes and, you know, kind of discuss.
This is gonna be a process.
No, I was gonna say, it's gonna take a long time.
It's not gonna be a snap your fingers, I mean,
All right.
we're gonna,
Oh, I thought we could do it by the end of the.
well, I know, so not, nobody here or anything, I just know some people think that it shouldn't take that long.
Oh, no, well, they don't know.
It's gonna take quite a while.
No, but that's why I'm asking about all this, because, you know, no, it hasn't been changed in a long time, but what I'm saying is we really have to set some sort of timeline, I think, or it won't happen ever.
Yeah.
It just, because we get sidetracked, and I don't know, I mean, here we are in this lull right at the moment.
Right.
Had we known,
Yeah,
you know.
so we don't need to wait till the next meeting to divvy stuff up either. Let me get some stuff together, we can try to figure some things out over email between now and when we do have the next meeting, and
I think we really
Start tackling
should,
stuff.
if you could, I think that would be helpful, because, you know, and summer's also kind of troublesome, because people come and go a little more than usual. But I think we really need to tackle this and see how.
but that's a good thing to do off, even though with people coming and going, that's still a good
Oh,
thing
no,
to do
that's what I
offline.
mean.
And we can do it over
You can
Zoom,
always
so we
bring
don't
your
have
chart of uses on vacation.
to. Yeah.
It is pretty, yeah, it's pretty condensed.
Really phone without general conditions and chart of uses. Okay, so I will do that, I'll get an email out to everybody.
Okay.
Just about some thoughts, and or if people want to, if people do have a preference for signing up, if not, I'll just randomly assign the number of us.
Assign me one or two of them, also, to help the process there. I know.
Natalie, you know.
sign me up.
Natalie's like, don't sign me, no.
Sign me up.
Okay.
How, yeah, you numbered one of these once, how many things are there here?
How many uses?
What are we looking at?
The chart of uses, how many categories never mind, I'll sit and count while you're talking.
32, I'm just guessing.
That's why I like it.
There's definitely numbers on one of them.
There was, oh, shoot.
Okay. Other business.
What did I have? Come around to me, because there was something that I was gonna bring up, and now I'm forgetting what it was.
Okay. Lisa?
Okay, so, we have some projects that just seem to not be happening. And I was gonna say, I've been listening to the news lately, and one of the things that, have you heard anything more about the Ross project?
Yeah, they're working on it right now.
Are they still? Because I heard that there was some earnings thing, and it was like negative earnings for the first quarter or whatever period of time we're talking. I thought, oh, is that why this?
No, they were definitely over, I was
Well,
just
the
over there
parking lot
today,
looks
but they have.
I don't know, they did the whole facade thing and everything, but I thought, uh-oh, because
They're working on all the under slabs.
it's just inside, so you can't see, okay. So I thought, oh, boy. But then, today, well, two things. So I was at Cayuga Medical Equipment, and some guy says he was very upset. Their Subway is leaving, the lamps, the blue.
Oh,
one outside the mall.
That's outside the mall.
June 1st. I feel like in Lorraine's absence, I felt compelled to bring that up. But I didn't know, I don't know if you,
I just did a fire inspection there, nothing was mentioned about it.
that's what they said. Well, we'll see, maybe this guy's information isn't correct, but they seem to know. The other thing, though, that, it was the utility pipes. We have to do something about the mall parking lot, I think.
He's got an
Because,
update on
like I said, I went to the medical equipment to get a wheelchair, okay? There are a couple of handicap spots there, which luckily I did not need, but if, in some instances, I have needed that, if I had my husband with me, okay. If somebody would be in a wheelchair that needed to go in, I took pictures, and I always have a tape measure for sewing, but, so it's still in my purse, 3 inches, 3-inch potholes.
Do you want to just provide an update on that really quick?
Yeah,
3 inches, that is just, I mean,
Adjacent to an accessible spot.
and that was like one of 6, I took a picture.
So let Mike provide an
I
update.
gave, right around April 15th, I had sent them an order to remedy the parking.
Yeah,
I gave them 30 days, did not hear anything. I was told that they were trying to get someone in there to patch things up and whatnot.
patch things.
The 30 days rolled around, this last noon meeting, which was the 15th, I think, 15, something like that. I got permission from the board of trustees to get an appearance ticket at the Lansing Town Hall, Lansing Courts. And one of my conversations tonight afterwards, to talk to Natalie about how I should go about it, go up there, because I haven't had to do one before, so.
Well, oh, good, I'm glad to hear, because, it is just, anybody you talk to just has a fit. And I just cannot believe that the tenants there aren't having a fit. That's what I don't understand, but.
They probably are.
Well, maybe they are, but something's got to change, because especially, I mean, as I've said, this whole thing about handicapped accessible stuff, I mean, that's also just, it's not. So they're violating that as well, in addition to just, and I think the last time, one of the things that Yamila brought up is, just keep, maybe we need to look at our code. Are we fining enough? Are we really fining people enough? When we've got to make it so that it's worth their while to remedy things. Okay, I think that's it for me.
Did you remember what you
Soapbox.
No.
We can stuff them around. I did, there were a couple action items from the last meeting too. One of them was, Lorraine had mentioned it would be great to get the, you know, to have a discussion with the mall tenants or, you know, with the IDA to see if there's any, you know, any update or any, you know, future plan, any future known plans. So I did talk to Ronnie about that, and I think Lorraine had mentioned, oh, we could get into a joint meeting or a planning board meeting. I did talk with Ronnie and agree with him, it's probably a better idea to not have, you know, we can't force anyone to come. We can invite them, but probably to invite them to a smaller meeting with, you know, maybe me, maybe Ronnie, and maybe somebody else, just to, so they don't, you know, feel like they're, you know, outnumbered by 12, you know, village board members, and, you know, so.
We're gonna have to go to them.
Just to see if there's anything that, you know, they're willing to share.
You might need to go to them.
Yeah, and that's fine too, but so, that was Ronnie's suggestion, he, you know, at some point he's gonna reach out, and we'll see if, you know, see if we can get any information on it, or any information, you know, about future plans. I know that, you know, Cayuga Health has a big presence there now, and if they have future plans for expansion, given things that they know, so, we'll see.
Okay, good.
I would not be concerned with them being intimidated at all.
Just might not want
They
things
just
on a public record.
We'll say no, right, that's kind of the point. Yeah. I will give a trustee update really quick. And Kathy can fill in some of the blanks if she wants, because it was a pretty quick meeting, though. They approved the minutes, they did set a public hearing for proposed local law D, which is changes to the tree conservation and planting that we had passed along, so that's set for June 2nd at 7:35 PM. They also set a public hearing for proposed local law E that has to do with the flood damage prevention law to meet the standards of National Flood Insurance Program, so that's set for June 2nd, 2025 at 7:36 PM. There was a discussion about, there was a tax levy resolution, so the trustees voted on that and said, yes, Ronnie, please go and sign the tax warrant so that we can collect our taxes. So that was done. There was a discussion about Comp Alliance, that's our insurance, you know, they're the ones that do our annual training each year. They're also our insurance carrier, so there was a discussion of it, they had offered, you know, hey, you can lock in your rate for 1, 2, or 3 years. So there was some discussion about what the best thing was, they settled on 3 years, and Ronnie signed that. There was an update about just various youth services and a little bit of discussion about that, how it seems like there's a couple different youth programs here that are all kind of run by the same people, but people obviously did realize that, you know, there's reasons why they're kind of under separate umbrellas, even if it's the same people running them. I mentioned the discussion about meeting with Christine from Cornell about the business and technology park uses. Carolyn gave an update on the comp plan and said the first draft is pretty much done, and it was going to go for a little bit more review before she was ready to kind of distribute that. Kathy gave updates on a bunch of things, the village, or not the village, the town of Lansing meeting, and some updates that had come out of that, and just various other updates. And then they did discuss our recommendation to appoint Jonathan as the alternate member, and he is on the agenda for early on the June 2nd meeting, before all the public hearings and everything else. So he will be there, and I think their plan is to make a decision there. By the time I had reached out to make sure he was still interested, and passed it back, and then got to Ronnie, and then they read it, the agenda was set for the current meeting. So we were also going to, the trustees were also going to discuss the 20 Bomax PDA at that meeting, but that got pushed to the June 2nd meeting also. So I think that that will happen there. And that is my update. Were there any other questions or anything? So, okay, with that, I do want to adjourn to an executive session to talk about planning board appointments, and we will not be reconvening after that for any further discussion. So you're all free to go. Oh, sorry, Michael, go ahead. Did you have an update? I always forget.
Do you want to talk about, not here, but in the actual meeting, about the next meeting?
Oh, no, let's talk about that quick before we adjourn. So yeah, at the next meeting, there's nothing on the agenda, Lisa's not gonna be here, Mike's not gonna be here, and even if people submitted stuff to Mike tomorrow, he doesn't have time to review it before he leaves for vacation, so I think we should cancel the next meeting.
I agree.
Okay,
Sounds good.
can you send out the notice?
Send that out.
Okay, I also forgot to ask you if there was any updates you wanted to provide on anybody, or on anything in the village here.
No, I haven't really heard anything from, well, I haven't heard anything at all from East Point. 20 Bomax, they will, they've been invited to be at the June 2nd Board of Trustees meeting, so if anyone wants to zoom in on it to listen to what they had to say, because they changed the layout a little bit by putting in some commercial on the first, they took our suggestion that mixed use, a little bit of commercial on the first floor might be something that makes it a little bit more attractive, but they're gonna be there stating their case on the 2nd.
For PDA, yeah.
For 20 Bomax, yeah.
Okay.
I'll look at the PDA stuff again.
Yeah,
It's been a while.
that's it, yeah. Okay, with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn to executive session to discuss planning board appointments.
I move that we go into executive session. We will not be returning to the regular session to discuss, personnel issue appointments.
Motion by
I second.
Lisa, second by Yamila. Okay, thanks, everybody.
7:37.
At 7:37 PM, yep.
Wow.